Hello everyone, and thank you for attending today's presentation where I will be sharing 3 of Marrone Bio Innovations' new experimental products. My name is Marrone Sardani and I'm the Product Development and Technical Service Manager for the Pacific Northwest. These 3 new experimental products include MBI 306 SE1, MBI 121 and MBI 203 SC2. MBI 306 SE1 is a broad-spectrum bioinsecticide based on Burkholderia rhinogensis strain A396. Our research and development team were able to identify the key metabolite and found a way to increase it substantially, resulting on the use of lower application rates than Venerate XC or Magistine, which are based on the same organism as MBI 306. MBI 306 is currently being evaluated for foliar, seed and soil applications, and we do anticipate an MRL exemption, 4-hour re-entry interval, 0 days to harvest, and being NOP compliant. Here we have a study from 2B's Ag Research in California showing that Venerate XC and MBI 306 reduce the damage from vine mealybug in Pinot Noir grapes. Looking at the graph, we have 2 different rates of Venerate, namely 1 and 2 quarts. Then we have 4 different rates of MBI 306, ranging from 0.64 fluid ounces through 5.12 fluid ounces. And even at the lowest rate of MBI 306, we had less than 1% damage on the clusters, compared to just over 13% damage in the untreated control. This study from Rutgers University shows Venerate XC and MBI 306 to give excellent control of San Jose scale on peaches. Looking at the graph, even at the lowest rate MBI 306 at 2.56 fluid ounces per acre, applied twice 7 days apart, gave almost 100% control of the first generation crawlers. Switching gears now, we are still looking at MBI 306, but this time as to soil application for the control of Columbia root knot nematode on potted greenhouse tomatoes. In the study from Oregon State University, there were 2 application timings, first as a soil drench and then again 3 weeks later. The assessment was done 38 days after the second application. Focusing here on the graph, we can see there were 4 different rates of MBI 306, with the lowest rate being 3.73 fluid ounces. And even at this low rate, we obtained excellent control of the juvenile 2 stage of Columbia root knot nematode compared to the untreated control. Here is another soil application study, this time looking at Magistine and MBI 306 in furrow for corn rootworm control on corn. So let's take a look here at the graph, focusing on the blue bars. MBI 306 within the range of 0.3 to 1.2 fluid ounces per 1,000 row feet resulted in a significant increase in average yield measured in bushels per acre across 2 studies. Moving on now to our second product, which is MBI 121, a broad spectrum biofungicide with 2 active ingredients in 1 product. MBI 121 is a premix of Reinutria saccharinensis extract and Bacillus ameloliquefaciens strain F727, which are the active ingredients in Regalia and Stargus, respectively. 121 has multiple modes of action, including the production of lipopeptides, ISR and SIR responses. It also contains live spores which can germinate and colonize the plant surface where it's applied, potentially acting as a protective shield against pathogens. It is geared towards foliar and soil applications, and we are currently investigating to see whether it might have a broader spectrum of disease control than either Regalia or Stargus by themselves. Now let's look at some data. This university study out of New York evaluated our products against fire blight on apple. We have Regalia at the 2 quart rate, Stargus at the 2 quart rate, and then a tank mix of Regalia at 2 quarts and Stargus at 1 quart. There were 4 different application timings in this trial. We can see that the tank mix of Regalia and Stargus resulted in less shoot blight incidents than either product by themselves, and it was significantly better than the untreated control. This internal study focused on the control of black spot on rows, looking at Stargus, Regalia, and then the premix MBI 121. There were a total of 8 applications in the study, spaced 7 days apart, and MBI 121 was applied at a 1% volume-to-volume rate. I'd like to focus your attention on the green line here, which is the MBI 121. We also have Regalia in the dark blue line and then Stargardt in yellow. You can clearly see that MBI 121 resulted in less black spot than either product by themselves. In this study by Gates Crop Care in Florida, Stargardt, Regalia and MBI 121 were evaluated against powdery mildew on butternut squash. On the y-axis, we are looking at the area under the disease progress curve, and you can see to the very right in the green bar we have MBI 121 at the 1 quart rate, and after 5 applications spaced 6 to 8 days apart, MBI 121 gave better control of powdery mildew than either product by themselves and was significantly better than the untreated control. Now let's take a look at our third product. This is MBI 203 SC2. It is a broad-spectrum bioinsecticide containing Chromobacterium subsugi strain PRAA4-1T. The product contains dead bacteria plus associated compounds produced in the cells and spent fermentation media. It is a liquid formulation as opposed to a WDG formulation in our registered Grandivo product. In our experience, a liquid formulation improves manufacturing throughput and is often preferred by many growers. This product is geared for foliar and seed application. An important part of developing a liquid formulation is to make sure that MBI 203 has comparable efficacy to the commercial rates of Grandivo. In this study from Helena in California, we compared the different Grandivo formulations against vine mealybug on Chardonnay wine grapes. The y-axis represents the number of nymphs, the 2 laterals per 1 minute search. Looking at the graph, we can see that MBI 203 at the 1 quart, 2 quart and 3 quart rates gave comparable control to Grandivo at the different commercial rates. I want to point out here too that Nufamp at the 8 fluid ounce per acre rate was added to all treatments. Now let's take a look at the best use and testing recommendations. For MBI 203 and 306 foliar, we do recommend the addition of a non-ionic surfactant. The pH recommendation for 203 is 6 to 8, and it's 5 to 9 for the other products. Water hardness does not need to be adjusted, although for 203 it's yet to be determined. The application interval will of course vary by crop. Sensitivity to water volume is unknown for 121 and 306 foliar, and we know it needs to be kept below 100 GPAs for 203. For 306 soil application, we still need confirmation, though we believe it's likely an important variable for nematode control. Tank mix compatibility is under investigation for all. In terms of application rates per acre, it is 1 to 4 quarts for 121, 1 to 3 quarts for 203, 1 to 5 fluid ounces for 306 foliar, and 10 to 20 fluid ounces for 306 soil. Application timing for 121 is at planting for soil and in season for foliar. For MBI 203 and 306 foliar, it is in season, and for 306 soil, it is at planting and in season. There are no plant-back restrictions for any of these. They do target a wide range of pests and pathogens as well as crops, which are listed here. For MBI 306 foliar, we think it could be of interest to the Global Minor Use Priority Setting Workshop in September, targeting spotted wing Drosophila on berries as well as Tuda absoluta on tomatoes. So what is the current status of these products? For MBI 306, the internal 2019 trials were successful on several key pests, and toxicology studies are in progress, expecting launch in 2023. For MBI 121, evaluations against multiple foliar and soil diseases are underway, and a decision to commercialize is pending. And finally, for MBI 203, we expect it to probably launch in 2022, pending 2020 and 2021 trial results for final rate recommendations. And with that, I would like to thank you for your attention and time and invite any questions that you might have.